Welcome to the Sextracurricular Podcast. This podcast covers the opinions and personal experiences from a married couple of over a decade, exploring the ethical, consensual, sexual non-monogamy lifestyle. This is an 18-plus, adults-only podcast as it contains explicit content, and it is not meant to be taken as professional or legal advice. Please listen at your own discretion and enjoy the show. Hey everyone, this is James.
And Mirage.
Today we want to follow up from the last episode and talk about our first time, specifically meeting with A.
Yes.
And what followed shortly afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
So you surprised me with
I
this.
surprised you with a little overnight getaway.
Mm-hmm.
And I set up a date with A.
Yep.
And I told you about it the day before.
Mm-hmm.
And you were really excited and shocked.
Yep.
Because you thought I was not gonna be into pursuing this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we should say our expectation going into this, we wanted to just meet him.
Yeah.
We just wanted to meet him.
Yeah.
And yeah, get over those nerves and butterflies and
Mm-hmm.
just like not put more pressure on us than was necessary. Especially for the first time, like we didn't know the rules of engagement with something like this.
Yeah, dating.
Like,
it was like, what?
Yeah, we've never, we haven't dated in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And you and I didn't really date, I guess. Like
we go on dates like regularly, like you and I do, but...
And we have our whole marriage.
Right.
But before that, when we met, it was just like...
I like you.
Do you like me?
You want to spend the rest of your life with me? And then, yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we should probably clarify. Well, I don't know. Did we go into this in the first episode? I don't think so. We met, we talked, we were like very quickly kind of like best friends.
Yeah.
And spent all this time together, and then I was like, I like you more than that, and I am a monogamous type of girl, and I want to get married someday, and if you're not into that, then
we'll stop it here.
We'll just stop right here. And you were like, no, I'm good. That sounds great.
Mm-hmm.
And then we were together.
Yeah.
Okay, so fast forward 10 years.
10 years later.
10 years later.
Oh my gosh.
We're going on our first date with a man that isn't you.
Yeah. Who looks like me.
Who looks like you.
A lot like me, yeah.
A lot. And I didn't mention that to him when we were messaging.
Oh, really?
I didn't say that at all.
Jeez.
I wasn't like, oh my gosh, you look just like James. I left that out. So yeah, we had this Airbnb, or sorry, bed and breakfast reservation that someone gave us because they couldn't make it.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't want to cancel, so they were like, you can use our reservation. So we drove to this bed and breakfast, and we immediately realized that this was not the type of place to bring back a sexy partner to play with.
Yep.
It was like this old house turned into a bed and breakfast. It was very cute, very cozy, very homey, but the walls were like paper thin.
Yep.
You could hear the people breathing upstairs. and the stairs.
So loud.
They were so creaky, and there was a bunch of people there for a wedding.
Yeah, so they all knew each other.
Yeah, it was just like not the place. So we said, okay, let's just decide right now we're not bringing him here. if it even goes that far, because we set the expectation up front, like we are just meeting him and that's it. Yes.
And I think, at least I only said that because it just made me feel better, because the nerves that day was like
yes,
insane. And I think that's
was
probably
nervous.
we should probably just start there. Like just the nerves from
Yeah.
okay, you set up this date with A.
Yeah.
And then oh shit, now we have a date with someone else.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna drive over, meet them.
Yeah, so I made the meeting place this pub, like a restaurant and pub, and it just seemed like a nice, comfortable, neutral zone to meet someone in public, and I have food allergies, so I knew I could eat there. I didn't have to worry about food issues or anything like that. And I asked him ahead of time, like, is this restaurant okay? And he said, yeah, it looks great. So that was good. But yeah, I think, what was I doing? We were getting ready at the bed and breakfast. Like, we put our bags down and we're talking about meeting him. And I think I was like doing my hair or something.
Yeah, you were doing your makeup and your hair.
My makeup and my hair. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so nervous.
Yeah.
And we were just
the nerves like finally kicked in. This is probably like an hour and a half, 2 hours before actually meeting him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was freezing outside. I remember it was freezing.
We
were on the water, and I was like, well, I'm not about to go outside and go for a walk to like get some fresh air because it would freeze the inside of my lungs. So I think I said, like, do you want to have sex before we go?
Yeah.
How did we end up?
Well, because you were also trying on different lingerie in case things went well.
Yes, I wanted to be prepared.
Yes.
And I wanted to feel just sexy and good. And yeah, I didn't want to be self-conscious. I'm one of those people that like thinks about all the details of something. And yeah, so I just wanted my hair to look nice and my makeup and everything I was wearing. I mean, I wasn't dressing up like I was like, going on a date. Yeah, I wasn't like going on a date. I wore like jeans and a sweater.
But you still look very good.
Thank
Everything,
you.
The selection was perfect.
Thank you.
But anyways, you brought options for your lingerie. You said which one looks better, the red or the black, and both look amazing.
Thank you.
We actually took some photos before.
Oh yeah, we did like a little photo shoot in the in the room.
Yeah, that was great.
That was fun.
Yeah.
I think that helped me feel comfortable also because I was like, okay, I can do this.
Yeah. But then it was just like, all right, let's just have sex because the nerves were too overwhelming, where it was just kind of clouding not our judgment, but just it was making things seem more nerve-wracking than they actually were.
Less fun.
It was literally just we're just meeting
yeah,
someone.
We kept
like,
saying that we're just meeting.
We're just meeting.
We're just gonna go meet somebody. That's it.
And the sex helped tremendously. Like you got there, I got there. It was perfect. It was very much like a reset, and it made us feel. It just recentered us back to like, okay, we're good. Let's go. Let's do this. And it was also very hot for me. I was still shocked by your surprise because I had no participation in setting this up. And so I was just excited that 1, this is actually happening. 2, you were actually going along with, my fantasy. And 3,
and that I was the one that
you were the one
presented it to you.
Yeah, that was great. That was
because
awesome.
then you knew that I was really on board.
You were committed to it.
I was committed to it because I was the one that set it up and told you about it.
And then 3 was just because all of that was happening, it just made the fantasy, like the possibility of the reality of it actually happening. It was just hot. Like I remember talking to you while we were having sex, and it was just very like raunchy and like, oh, would you like the 2 of us to please you here, please you there? It was just it was awesome.
Yeah,
it was incredible. So that helped. Like post sex, that helped quite a bit.
Yeah.
So we finished having sex. We're, I guess, putting, you're doing your makeup Well, actually, no, your makeup was perfect that night, so
Thank you.
Um,
I did not rush my
yeah,
makeup.
you just put your clothes on because at this point we're 20 minutes away from meeting him, like time wise.
Yeah. I'm glad I did my nails beforehand too,
Yeah.
because like I said, details. Like I painted my toes and my fingers and
Yeah. And so we were meeting him at
the
like
restaurant.
at the restaurant.
It was like a bar burger joint place.
Like
Yeah.
a sports bar.
Yeah.
There's so many TVs there as well.
Yeah, they had a bunch of TVs at the bar, which I wasn't anyway, sorry. We parked. We walk in and I immediately saw him at the bar. And I told you, like,
that's him.
That's him. And you were like, well, holy crap, he looks just like me.
Yeah, in person, it was like, oh my goodness, like the resemblance was shocking.
Yeah,
it was very, very shocking.
Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah. So he was at the bar, and yeah, the TVs were there. So I think he was just looking at the TV, and like, I don't know if he got a drink yet. I think he just got water.
I think he was just sitting down there. But then we walked over to him.
Yeah, and I tapped him and I just said hi, yeah. Like, nice to see you and finally meet you in person. And he shook your hand, and then I wasn't expecting to sit at the bar just because we were all facing the same wall. Yeah, it wasn't the best placement. I was in the middle, and I had you on the left and A on the right.
Foreshadowing for later.
And yeah, I felt like awkward in the positioning. And I mean, I think he was uncomfortable. I was telling James, like, you see how nervous we are. Can you imagine how nervous he must be? Because he's by himself.
Yeah, we at least had each other.
We at least had each other to be nervous together, but he was by himself. So I was like, oh my gosh, if he's nervous, like, I feel bad for him. And anyway, yeah, we're at the bar, and the first impression I got was, oh my gosh, this is so awkward. This is not going to happen. This is so, I was so uncomfortable. I was
went in reverse with just the level of steps that we took towards this. We're like, actually meeting him was like, you know what? Nah, you know what? Let's just take this all back. Like, this is no way in hell this is happening.
The thought went through my head, like, how do I communicate to James if I want to leave? Like, if I want to be like, nope, abort mission. Yeah.
But it wasn't awkward because like of his appearance or anything. It was literally just like,
no, he looked great.
Yeah.
I mean, he looked like you, and you looked great.
Yeah, there was nothing about him at all whatsoever, or even like the location we were meeting. It was just the fact that we were going out on a date with someone, not with each other. Well, with each other and someone else.
Yeah. It was just new territory. Yeah.
And then, like, what do you even talk about? Like, how do you engage in a conversation? Do you just straight go to, so are you guys looking to bang somebody else? All right, see, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Like, you don't want to talk about the elephant right away.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
but and I think what made it worse was the bartender, or just the place itself was, it was pretty loud. It wasn't like super loud. But the awkward part of it was that the bartender was like, basically like right up in your face. And that's just the way of like it was set up. You know,
it wasn't like if we were at a table, then at least we could like face each other. Right. And when you say something, like, because I felt like I had to turn to my left and to my right very, like 90 degrees to converse with the two of you. So if I was going to try to get everyone talking, like, I kind of had to be like sitting back further and just like open and make sure I was speaking louder so that both of you could hear me. But if I said something that was a little more taboo, I had to say it louder and not have a bartender hear me. So I just felt like that, and the TVs being on, I don't know if that was good or bad, but
it was nice because there were breaks in the conversation where it was just nice to just focus on something else for just a tiny bit while we collected our thoughts.
But once we started talking, like I mentioned, have you been to this area before? what kind of food do you like?
Mhm.
And then it just, from there, it was so easy.
Yeah, the awkwardness went away immediately.
It went away so fast. And then like something would come on the TV, like a funny commercial, or I think there was like some sports thing on. I don't even remember. Was it football?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was football. So we talked about football and we talked about our families, and he I mentioned at some point that part of the attraction for me was that he looked like you.
He's like, I don't see it.
And he was like, really? I don't see it at all.
But I think it was similar to like with my brothers and I, like we all look alike to other people.
To an extent.
Right.
Yeah.
But with each other,
yeah,
like,
I don't think
there's no, like, what are you talking about? I look nothing like him.
Yeah.
So I think it was probably similar in this instance where like, oh, okay, cool. Like,
yeah,
if you say so.
But yeah, I thought that was funny though, that he had no, because I sent him a picture of the two of us on the dating app, and he just said like, you two look fun, and went from there. You know, we just went back to talking about what we were talking about. But yeah, at the restaurant, like we talked about everything. We were there for probably like 2 hours.
Yeah.
And yeah, we got drinks and we were like, are you hungry? Do you want to eat? And we were hungry. I mean, we burned some calories before we showed up, but so yeah, we got dinner and we just talked about everything. It was wild.
Everything minus the sex.
Yeah.
Everything minus the sex. It was literally just like
this build up.
Yeah, this build up of, and it was great because we really got to know more about him. He learned a lot more about us.
That we had been together for a long time. We learned about what he did, his job. His previous relationship. Yeah, he said he dated a girl for like 5 years. And he had kind of recently broken up with her, like within the last 6 months, I think.
Yeah. So you're just casually dating at this point.
Yeah, and just looking for new experiences, and we were one of them that he was interested in. So I liked that he was just looking for a casual thing, that it would be fine if it was like, I mean, we weren't looking for like a boyfriend, like another life partner or anything like that. So yeah, there was just, once we started talking, there was just like so much less pressure.
Yeah, there was. It felt very like organic. It didn't feel forced. Like I said, there were still some pauses in the conversation, but nothing felt.
It wasn't like an awkward silence. It was just a pause. Like just breathing, feeling comfortable in each other's presences, and then yeah.
And what I liked about him was that he included the two of us in everything. It wasn't like,
he wasn't just talking to me.
Like it wasn't just like kind of excluding me and just like, oh yeah, you're the one that's gonna watch, and then so I'm gonna just talk to your wife, and then.
Well, that's the thing. He didn't know that you were just gonna watch.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Yeah, we could talk about that later on. But yeah, the night went well. It was like 2 hours in, and then
we had this arrangement, James and I, that when we felt comfortable and like the dinner was coming to an end, that I would go to the restroom and text him yes or no, or question mark. And we stole that from the Authentic Hotwife. Because we really liked her podcast, because we thought that was a clever idea. And I don't know, it was discreet. I liked that it was discreet. It wasn't like you turn to James and I say, so is he okay? Like right in front of him. It was, so I went to the restroom.
Well, no, right before, because I remember I asked you. You said, oh, I'm gonna go to the bathroom, and I asked you, do you want your phone? And then you told me.
I said, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
And that was
like a very clear yes.
Very clearly, yes, I don't need my phone. I just need to pee.
You know? And I want this to happen.
Yeah. And so you got on your phone because we, like, as we mentioned, we could not bring him to the bed and breakfast that we were staying at.
Yeah.
So you got on your phone looking at
desperately looking for like last minute
hotel reservations in the area.
Yeah.
And I came back from the bathroom and I just said, like, are you comfortable with us? Do you want to spend some more time with us in a more intimate
Private
setting or
yeah.
more private, with more privacy, because the bartenders were right there. And he said, yeah, I'm comfortable.
Yeah.
And the bartender brought the check.
Oh yeah, and he just immediately like whipped it out, his card, not his dick.
Oh my gosh, James, seriously. He very quickly just paid for everything. Meal. Yeah. Like, there was no time and we were like, you do not have to do that at all. Like, we were, and he was like, no, I'm happy to. Yeah.
In the back of my mind, I was like, man, this guy really wants to get laid. Dinner and a date. Check, please.
He did not have to do that.
Yeah, it was very nice of him.
I think moving forward, I would like make that something that we
make that a rule
ahead of time. Like, we don't want you to pay for anything for us. Like, not that I felt uncomfortable, but no, I did feel uncomfortable. I thought it was very nice, but I felt
like you weren't in control, or you had less control at that point, because it probably gave you this expectation of, okay, well, now something has to happen because
like I owe something. Not like, well, no, see, that sounds like prostitute-y. No, not prostitute. I don't know how to say it. It just felt, the money thing. I don't know. Maybe that's something else I need to explore in myself. But anyway, he bought us our dinner and drinks, and that was very kind of him. And we told him that we found a room like 30 minutes away.
Yeah, that was the closest one I could find.
That was the closest one we could find, but it was closer to where he lived. So
he's like, yeah, no problem. Just send me the address and then I'll meet you guys there.
Yeah, send me the address. I'll meet you there. And we parked, and I just messaged him and said, we're going to like check in and get the room key and like get situated and everything. And
we should backtrack a little bit.
Why?
So he said, I'll meet you guys there. We went our separate ways to our cars. And then the drive there was like a whole, we thought we were nervous before.
We were wicked
extremely nervous on the way there, because then it was like, this is actually happening.
Yeah. Which at any point we could have stopped.
Yes.
We could have messaged him and been like, actually, we're not feeling this now, which would have been really shitty for us to do, but
we were both feeling it. We were both on board. We were like, yes, this is what we want.
But yeah, that 30-minute drive was intense because...
And it was awkward too, because I left the condoms at the B&B.
Oh my gosh.
And I brought our,
Well, okay, so first of all, yes, we forgot protection, and that is one of our rules.
Yep.
Always use a condom. So we forgot the condoms, and we're like, well, maybe the hotel has some. Second, we needed gas.
Yep.
So we went to stop at a gas station, and he was like, oh, I can go inside and buy some. So we stopped at the gas station and bought some. And we were also thinking maybe to like loosen up the nerves, that we could get something to drink.
Yep.
But in the state that we were in, they don't sell alcohol and in the same place as like everything else.
Yeah.
So we were like, oh crap, we didn't realize that. And
so I went inside.
He went inside while I was pumping gas in the freezing cold. And he comes out with this huge bag. And I'm like, what is in the bag?
Magnum condoms.
And he goes, condoms and candy.
Into like that, but yeah.
Well, okay, sorry. If I gave you the other voice, you'd be like, oh, don't sound like that. Anyway, he got condoms and candy because they didn't have alcohol.
Yeah.
And I was like, candy, that's sweet.
That's sexy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, this is going to be this is gonna be great.
Mm-hmm.
We're off to a good start.
For the first time, I mean, it was so many fumbles
Yeah.
prior to the actual encounter.
But they were like funny
Yeah, that's
fumbles,
true.
you know? I mean, I don't look back and I'm like, oh my gosh, we're so stupid or anything. I'm just like, it made it memorable, I think.
Yeah.
And I think with all the fumbles, like those could have been reasons for us to be like, oh, we don't have condoms, sorry.
Yep.
Like we can't do it because, you know, like those
Mm-hmm.
could have all been off ramps from this experience.
Mm-hmm.
We could have easily been like, oh, we're going to use that as an excuse. And we didn't. We were like, that's okay. We'll get some gas. We'll go to a store and buy some condoms. Like that's a priority.
Mm-hmm.
And that whole drive, also, you and I had some time to like regroup.
Yep.
Talk about the dinner because we were there for 2 hours.
Yeah.
And we learned a lot about him. And for the two of us to have that time to be like, yeah, we like this guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he was presenting his true personality on the messages, and we validated that in person. And yeah, it was a nerve-wracking drive, but like again, at least we had each other.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what was going through his head for 3 minutes.
I can't believe that. I can't believe this is happening. Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't know. I feel like that would be nerve-wracking being solo.
But at no point in the night did I ever feel like he was nervous. He never showed off like an inkling of.
Well, he said in the message beforehand when I made the date, he was like, I'm nervous to meet you guys in person, but I'm excited.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I think nerves means you care.
Yeah.
Feeling nervous means you care. And but yeah, he was so chill.
Yeah.
He was like, I told him that he came across as very confident. Just cool, collected, confident. Yeah. And I liked that. Do you want to adjust here?
Oh, no, it's fine.
Okay. So, yeah. Sorry, I jumped ahead to the parking at the hotel, but I'm excited.
So you park at the hotel?
Yes, we parked at the hotel.
The parking garage, if you want to tell that little side story.
What side story?
The person like attending.
Oh, the attendant in the parking garage for the valet?
Yes.
What about him?
That he also looked like me?
Oh, yes. He
I'm
did.
like, what the hell is up with this? Like, we keep running into people that look like me.
I know, we were seeing James everywhere, apparently. So, and I made a joke. I was like, let's ask him to come upstairs too.
Yeah.
But yeah, he looked like James too. And
we'll come back and then ask him.
What?
We'll come back to that hotel and ask him, hey, we had a great time here. You want to
oh my gosh.
No, it's beside the point. You can continue. I'm sorry.
No, no, that was funny. I'm glad you reminded me of that because he did look like you. And we looked good. I don't know. Like I thought I looked pretty.
You were hot. You were hot that night. Everything was on fleek, as the kids used to say back in the day.
On fleek. Gross. Yeah, so we parked and I told him that we would check in and just let A know when we would meet him at the door. And it was kind of late too, so I think like you can't get in the main entrance without the concierge opening the door or whatever. So we just messaged him and said, we'll let you know when to meet us at the door. And I really had to pee. I remember I really had to pee. So I was going to go up to the room, like take one of the room keys beforehand and go pee. And you were going to meet him at the front and like escort him upstairs. But he got to the front door so fast. Yeah. And I had already pushed the elevator button and was waiting for it. So we all went up together and we were like walking down the hall and I'm like, this is so weird. Yeah. Right? Yeah. That was so that was weird.
Like a very bright hallway, very modern layout. The hotel was awesome.
It was very nice.
But yeah, very just quiet. Awkward. Yeah, very quiet. Like, so are we gonna be the loudest people here if we,
Well, louder or not as loud as if we brought him to the bed and breakfast.
Yeah, that would have been worse.
That would have been terrible.
Yeah, that would have.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm curious. I'll ask this question after we tell the story. But so you unlock the door. We know the room,
Yeah.
everything, and then you go and rush in to pee.
Yeah, I was like, I really have to pee.
He sits down at the edge of the bed.
Mm-hmm.
I sit down on like one of the two chairs is like way by the wall.
The windows, yeah.
So there's a lot of awkward space in between us already. Because you're in the bathroom. You're
yeah. And there's like 20 feet in between you and A.
Yeah. I put the candy down and then the condoms down like beside me. Just in case things go well.
Yeah.
And honestly, it wasn't as awkward as we're probably making it sound. Like A and I were actually talking about
his previous
girlfriend. Yeah. And so I asked him, hey, so, would you mind telling me more about that? Like
your relationship.
It seemed like you two dated for a long time. Like what happened? Because I was genuinely intrigued. Like by the end of the dinner, he learned a lot about us, but I feel like there was more about him that I wanted to like learn.
Well, it's easy to learn about our relationship when the two of us are there. Like, because he could see our dynamic together, but we couldn't see him interacting in that type of way because he was by himself. Yeah, but I heard, they were talking. I went to the bathroom and then I came out and I think I took my shoes off and I was like, we thought that we could use some drinks or something. But they didn't have any because we're stupid and they don't sell alcohol in the stores here. So we got candy and he was laughing and he was like, oh, no, I have Invisalign.
Yeah,
I can't have candy. Yeah. And you got like 4 different
Yeah, variety. I don't know what he likes. I mean, I know what you and I like, but
that was really sweet of you.
Well, pun intended.
Yeah, pun intended.
That's funny.
And I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna have candy because I like candy. You got Starburst, and I love Starburst. And I sat down on the bed on the other side. It was a big king size bed.
Yeah.
And he was on like the front left-hand corner and I was on the right side of the bed. So that I was kind of close, like equidistant to both of you. Because I felt
it was
weird.
An awkward layout. The room layout was awkward.
It was like a long
It also just felt awkward
shape.
Yeah. It felt awkward to just, we're getting closer and closer to this possibly happening. And overall, the night's just still going very well.
Yeah.
What made it, I think, a little bit more awkward was that it was just so quiet.
It was like there was
no white noise. There was no like city noise. It was really
there was no fan even.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Not even the like AC in the room was running either. Like it was just so quiet. And I just want to like have like something like on the background of the TV or music, whatever, just something to just kind of fill the empty space. But regardless, the conversation was going well. Like it didn't, again, just like at the restaurant or just like at the bar, it never felt like it was an awkward silence. We had sort of natural pauses. I think I was driving most of the conversation because I really just wanted to know as much as possible before we were going to engage in something like this. So I felt like I was probably holding you two up quite a bit because I kept asking question after question after question.
But they were good questions and they were questions that we couldn't really ask at the restaurant. Yeah. So they were like, it was stuff that needed to be said and it needed to be said before anything else happened. I felt like I was holding things up too because I really wanted to make sure that you were okay with anything else happening. Like we didn't do the texting thing at the restaurant. I just said I'm good. And I realized when we got to the room, like I didn't really get your okay. Yeah. I mean, obviously you wouldn't have gone to a room if you weren't okay, but I was like, I just want to make sure that James is okay and good, and you were asking him a lot of questions and I'm like, well, that's just what he needs to do to feel okay. but we didn't really have any like blatant list of rules or boundaries, or I mean, we weren't about to be like, what's your safe word? Like
a Batman kind of voice.
I guess, I don't know. I just wanted to make sure that you and A were comfortable, and that he was like 100% clear on our expectations of anything that might happen. And we even said like, we went into this just like, we're just gonna meet him, and that's it, like no pressure. And he was very patient. He answered all of your questions. Like he was,
props to him. He was very great. Very prepared, very patient, especially with like a couple that this was the first time doing something like this.
Yeah.
And to maintain a great posture and composure to this going on, it was good. I commend him for that.
But yeah, it was a lot of
talking. And then eventually, like, just the conversation just sort of died down.
Well, because it was like, well, we're running out of questions.
Yeah.
And
like, is this happening or
like,
what?
how is this gonna...
How is this gonna start?
Yeah, that was the thing that I was like, my heart, if you were any closer to me, you would have been like, my heart was beating out of my fucking chest. Because I was like, I don't know how to initiate anything here. Like, I mean, I know how to initiate sex with you. Like, I mean, I know what you like. I know what turns you on. Even if you're in a bad mood, I know how to make you feel better. Right. You were in a bad mood the other day, and I like went over and sat on your face, and you were like, "Thanks, that helped."
That's right.
And like, I'm not gonna do that to A though. I mean, maybe he would like that, but I don't know yet. So
we found out later that he would have loved that, which made it great.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But yeah, like
I don't want this episode to be too long because we haven't even gotten to the sex part.
Yeah, we should probably. That's probably a big tease then, because.
What?
Yeah, we'll do a part 2 to this then, I think.
Yeah, we can record it now. Just like, we'll stop it here. I'm sorry.
Way to cock block everyone listening to this.
Well, I don't know if they were.
They're like, don't want to hear the good stuff. I stayed for 38 fucking minutes to hear.
Oh my gosh.
Your wife getting banged.
We're going to talk about it. I don't want these episodes to be wicked long. The next one will be everything. Okay.
Okay.
Is that okay?
That's fine.
We're having a good time. It's just, there was a lot of buildup, and that like, this is what happened. There was so much buildup.
You should at least tell them how you engaged.
How I
like the feeling of your heart beating on your chest to the engagement of. I remember you telling me, like, I need to be the one to engage with this, because like you felt like you had that responsibility.
I felt like I had that responsibility because I don't think you would feel comfortable like telling me what to do, because
that's just not our dynamic.
That's not our dynamic, no. And like, you're not more dominant or whatever, and you, like, I set this up, I was the one that set this up, so you weren't going to be like, okay, you can start, or you can, like, that feels weird. And he is about, possibly, maybe, he doesn't know, has this opportunity to have sex with another woman in front of her husband.
Yep.
He's not going to be the one to initiate, right?
Yep. Which I really respected. Like, he had this very respectful. He respected the dynamic of the relationship.
Yes.
Which is why I was 110% okay with this moving forward.
Yes. So I was like, well, I think I said to both of you, and I looked at him, I was like, I don't know how to start, so I'm just going to start by sitting closer to you.
Yep.
And I got up and I just sat right next to him on the bed. So that like the sides of our bodies were touching, like our hips. And right away I was like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And oh my gosh, I don't even, it was like panic.
Mm-hmm.
Like magnets that want to repel and attract at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what physics term that is, but it was intense.
One of our listeners is probably like a physics expert. They'll probably email us.
Yeah, tell us what that is. Okay, please educate me. And I think I just looked at him and we just kissed.
Yep.
I kissed him and immediately all of that nervousness went away because it was like, okay, it's done.
Yep.
I mean, not that it's done, but like,
like this is it. This is
like
how
this is it. This is how it starts. And like, and I told him, I was like, I just needed something to start with because there was so much physical distance. Yeah, anticipation, but like physical distance between us that was like making it exponentially worse nerve-wise. And so I kissed him, and then from there it was like, okay,
this is it.
You're in your chair. He knows at this point you're gonna watch us, and we'll just, I think he said to him, I'm gonna just observe, and if I feel comfortable with you two just like having a good time together, I might leave the room. And if I feel comfortable, I might like come closer or like whatever. And he was like, okay, cool. That was so
yeah. We'll stop right there.
Stop right there.
Way to tease everybody, but this is intentional. The next episode, I promise, will be all the juicy details from both of our perspectives. Yes. You won't want to miss it. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions or concerns, please email us.
You went from like
James at sextracurricular.com, Mirage at sextracurricular.com.
You went into like super business professional mode right there, that voice.
And we will talk with you guys next time.
Thank you for listening.